The Star-Spangled Banner Flag House, formerly the Flag House and Star-Spangled Banner Museum, is a museum located in the Jonestown Old Town and adjacent to Little Italy neighborhoods of eastern downtown Baltimore, Maryland, United States. Built in 1793, it was the home of Mary Young Pickersgill when she moved to Baltimore in 1806 and the location where she later sewed the Star-Spangled Banner, in 1813, the huge outsized garrison flag that flew over Fort McHenry at Whetstone Point in Baltimore Harbor in the summer of 1814 during the British Royal Navy attack in the Battle of Baltimore during the War of 1812.
Yes, it's a grand old flag, and yes, it's been a high-flying flag, and yes, it's had its price. Throughout history, the conquering or sustaining victor in battle has been best symbolized by that victor, as they say, flying its colors. Then to conquer we must, for our cause it is just. Pickersgill, an accomplished ships and military colors maker, would get the job. In 1778, Mary and her widowed mother, Rebecca Young, moved from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland. At age 19, she met and married John Pickersgill. They moved back to Philadelphia and had 4 children. Unfortunately, only one, Caroline, survived. In 1805, while on business in London, John Pickersgill died. Mary and her daughter moved back to Baltimore in 1807. The house was located near the harbor, and they had a very successful business supplying colors and signal flags to the many ships arriving in Baltimore. Let's join Major Armistead, Commodore Joshua Barney, and General John Stricker, who were old friends of both ladies, in Mary's parlor as they await her arrival.
We would like it to be 30 feet hoist by approximately 42 feet fly. Each stripe is to be 2 feet in width, and each star 2 feet tip to tip.
We had to order over 400 yards of English wool bunting.
The banner is born. In 1813, the United States was at war with Great Britain, and Baltimore was preparing for an eventual attack as the fleet of the British Royal Navy had complete maritime control of the Chesapeake Bay. Major George Armistead, the U.S. Army commander of the infantry and artillery units that defended Fort McHenry in Baltimore, felt that the fort was prepared for an attack, except it lacked a flag. In a letter to the head of the Maryland militia and military commander for Baltimore, Major General Samuel Smith, he wrote, "We, sir, are ready at Fort McHenry to defend Baltimore against invading by the enemy. That is to say, we are ready except that we have no suitable ensign to display over the Star Fort, and it is my desire to have a flag so large that the British will have no difficulty seeing it from a distance." A delegation consisting of Armistead, Smith, Brig. General John Stricker, and Commodore Joshua Barney, Pickersgill's brother-in-law, visited with Pickersgill, and discussed the particulars of the desired flag. They commissioned Pickersgill to make 2 flags. One American ensign, 30 by 42 feet, first quality bunting, and another flag 17 by 25 feet. A task as large as the making of these flags was beyond the capability of one person to complete, and Pickersgill not only drew on members of her own household for help, but also contracted labor from the immediate neighborhood. In early summer 1813, she began the job with the assistance of her daughter, Caroline, her 2 nieces, Eliza Young and Margaret Young, a free African-American apprentice, Grace Wisher, and likely her elderly mother, Rebecca Young. An additional unnamed African-American who boarded in the house is also listed as helping in some sources, as were additional local seamstresses who were hired during the summer. 6. often working late into the evening, until midnight at times. Pickersgill's team was able to complete the job in 6 weeks. Mary Pickersgill, born Mary Young, February 12, 1776, was the maker of the Star-Spangled Banner flag hoisted over Fort McHenry during the Battle of Baltimore in the War of 1812. The daughter of another noted flag maker, Rebecca Young, Pickersgill learned her craft from her mother. Pickersgill, widowed at the age of 29, became successful enough in her flag-making business, that, in 1820, she was able to buy the house that she had been renting in Baltimore, and later became active in addressing social issues, such as housing and employment for disadvantaged women. From 1828 to 1851. She was president of the Impartial Female Humane Society, which had been founded in 1802, incorporated in 1811, and helped impoverished families with school vouchers for children and employment for women. Under Pickersgill's leadership, this organization built a home for aged women and later added an aged men's home which was built adjacent to it. These, more than a century later, evolved into the Pickersgill Retirement Community of Towson, Maryland, which opened in 1959. Pickersgill died in 1857 and was buried in the Loudon Park Cemetery 1, in southwest Baltimore, where her daughter erected a monument for her, and where some civic-minded organizations later erected a bronze plaque. The house where Pickersgill lived for 50 years, at the northwest corner of Albemarle and East Pratt Streets in downtown Baltimore, became known as the Star-Spangled Banner Flag House in 1927. The house was saved through the efforts of many preservation-minded citizens who were motivated by the centennial celebrations of 1914. The flag was installed in August 1813, and, a year later, during the Battle of Baltimore, Francis Scott Key could see the flag while negotiating a prisoner exchange aboard a British vessel, and was inspired to pen the words that became the United States national anthem.